The reason I've decided to upload this video is because I think it's important. I've been listening to BBC Radio 4's PM programme recently, and Evan Davis conducted an interview with a CV19 expert, and that was suggesting that he was suggesting that we should all have the same chances of surviving CV19 as did the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. And the chances are improved greatly if we're not having to let our symptoms develop to such an extent that we are short of breath and we end up having to be put on a ventilator. And the way to avoid that is that we're all told that if we notice symptoms, the usual symptoms, persistent cough and high temperature or fever, then we should isolate ourselves for 14 days. Unfortunately, during those 14 days, although we're protecting others, we could well be harming ourselves, and we could be deteriorating silently but seriously, because our oxygen levels could be dropping. They're usually meant to be, I understand, 90 to 100, whereas they can drop to as little as 50 without us knowing any noticeable change. It appears that we, to compensate, we breathe faster and we breathe deeper. And it seems as though patients are being admitted with CV19 in a seriously depleted oxygen level, and yet they're totally unaware of it. There's when they're admitted, to continue perhaps using a mobile phone or watching television, not realizing that they're seriously ill, and then they have to be put on a ventilator. If this oximeter was used from day one, when you feel as though you have the symptoms and your oxygen level drops, you could then contact your GP and explain what's happened, and he or she should refer you to be put on oxygen. And you won't need necessarily to ever be put on a ventilator. If you get to the stage where you are need to be put on a ventilator, then you've already deteriorated to the point where it might be impossible to recover. You've already been weakened and your lungs are damaged. So the advice is to purchase one of these oximeters. They can be bought online, so you don't even need to leave your home to get one, and they cost about £20 each. They're simple to operate. You simply peg it on your finger, and you get a reading immediately. You will then have peace of mind, and you're also not only possibly saving your life, but you're cutting down on the need for using up valuable resources in the hospital, where you don't any longer need to be put on a ventilator. Hopefully, such advice will save lives, and maybe the best £20 you'll ever spend, and hopefully you will never need it.